Greetings all, I hope you are well. This evening you have been invited by the tribal leader to take part in a rare indigenous ceremony where you will have the opportunity to call upon the ancestors and request their safekeeping as you take your journey on a vision quest. So settle yourself down, be you sitting or laying down, a blanket to keep you warm, or snuggle under the covers of your bed. Allow your mind to drift off your worries of the day. Allow the room to fade away as we begin this time just for you. Let go of sights and sounds around you and listen closely to the crackle of the fire you now find before you. The soft lapping of the water from the lake shore, coupled with the cracks and pops as the night wind kisses the fire's life. You watch on as the dusk sun lowers to make way for twilight. Distant chirps of crickets come to life. You allow the peaceful atmosphere to wash over you. You soon notice the steady beat of a drum. You spot a man in the near distance. The drum seems to be coming from there. You walk towards the man, hearing the soft crunch of the ground against the beat of the drum. As you draw close, you take in the sight of this man dressed in full traditional regalia of the Waihati. You stand for a while, watching as he beats the drum in his ceremonial pace. Suddenly he stops, and he meets his gaze to yours. "Welcome, newcomer. You are just in time. Please, come. Join us as we beat the ground beneath our feet to the sound of the drum." He smiles at you as he points in the direction of which you once came. You turn to follow the view he is pointing towards, where you see a large group of other natives waiting to take part. You turn back to him. Smiling warmly, you nod and make your way towards the group of others. The other natives greet you warmly as you approach, uttering "Ai," a greeting in the tribe's mother tongue. Some wear traditional clothing. A few have small headpieces. But one elderly man towards the back holds a full-length headdress, adorned with brown and white feathers. He nods at you while resting upon his long staff-like walking stick. Suddenly, the beat of the drum strikes up again as the man playing the instrument now joins the group. He begins to sing. You watch for a moment as the others in the group begin to dance. You notice how they drag and shuffle their feet in certain patterns. You attempt to copy their moves, struggling in the process. You feel a tap on your shoulder. You stop what you're doing and turn around. The elderly man with the large headdress stood behind you, propped up on his long stick. He smiles at you before he speaks. "Do not jump like that of the sheep, but be one like that of the wolf." You look at him, slightly confused by his wording. His warm smile turns to a grin, knowing all too well you're not familiar with their native teachings. He speaks again. "Do not copy others." He reaches out, placing his hand on your chest. "Here, feel the beat of your heart match that of the drum. Move from here." He steps back, returning to lean on his large stick. You smile at him, nodding with a slight bow of respect. His headdress alone tells you he's important to the tribe and respect is to be shown. Taking on board his words, you close your eyes, listening to the beat of the drum and allowing your heart to move your feet around the dirt. A freeing sensation comes over you as you lose yourself to the natural rhythm. Suddenly, the drum stops. You open your eyes to see everyone heading back off up the rocky terrain. The elderly man comes alongside you.
Come, you are welcome to join us back at the village, as the ceremony continues there.
You thank him, proceeding to follow the group. You round the corner of the rocky hill to an open plains, where a bustling village of natives go about their daily lives. Your eyes drift to families playing around their teepees, some women aiding a pregnant lady into a round hut or birthing lodge. Another group of women are weaving baskets, while some men are carrying a deer carcass across the center of the village. Your heart is lifted as you watch the First Nation people living fruitfully and peacefully. You soon turn your attention to a larger-than-other teepee off to the left of you, where your group is heading. Following suit, you step up to the structure, taking in the beautifully crafted piece of buffalo skin stretched and sewn onto the framework of wooden poles, usually made from saplings. The elderly man comes up behind you once more.
Step inside, you are welcome here,
he utters to you as he lifts the fold, opening it for you to duck under and in. Doing so, you look on at the many faces staring back at you as they all sit in a circle around the fire crackling in the center. A young native male taps the floor beside him with a smile, offering you a spot to sit. With a smile in return on your lips, you shuffle yourself into that spot and await what comes next. Finally, the elderly man steps in, taking a seat in the carved wooden woven chair, the only chair in the teepee. The young native you are sat next to leans over and whispers in your ear. That is the village elder. He leads the ceremony. You nod in understanding, as finally his attire and demeanor make sense to you now. The village elder soon speaks out.
Welcome all. You are here seeking the brave within your hearts and the spirit within your body. Some of you will succeed and others will discover they are not yet ready.
The elder reaches out. Into a small animal-skinned bag attached to his woven belt, he pulls out what appears to be a cluster of herbs and throws them into the fire. The fire spits and crackles as smoke fills its void. The village elder speaks again.
What do you see within the smoke that dance upon the flame? Look within your heart.
You stare at the smoke now, not sure what you are meant to be seeing, but its hypnotic movement as it dances above the fire draws you in. The sweet smell of what appears to be cedar fills your senses. The man's voice comes once more.
It is time to seek guidance from our ancestors who have walked this path before us.
He leans down, lifting a ceremonial pipe that's laid beside the chair. This pipe holds many names. To most Europeans, it's known as a peace pipe, as indeed many tribes did use it to seal peace treaties. However, it is also used for religious ceremonies. The sacred pipe is a holy object in many tribes. The village elder stuffs the pipe with plantain tobacco and some other herbs. Puffing back the first of its smoke, he begins to pass the pipe. You watch on as others take in turns, and his voice comes once more. Our sacred pipe connects us as one. As we pass the smoke,
we call upon our ancestors to look down on us in favor, to guide us over terrain they know better than our feet do, to guide our young warriors to discover their heart and walk back from the mist as brave men and women of our nation. Soon the pipe is passed to you. You look over the ornate piece, its wrapped patterns and feathers. You place it to your lips, taking in the smoke. You splutter a little, not used to the particular engagement. A few others giggle as you pass the pipe along to the young native who offered you a seat. Feeling soothed at the experience, you turn your gaze back to the elder, who is smiling warmly back at you. The pipe soon returns to him, where he then climbs to his feet. "It is time," he announces. The beat of the drum comes once more. "Go now, find your path, and may your ancestors guide you." Many of the group slowly file out of the teepee, but the elder steps over to you. He speaks again. "I do not expect you to find this easy. Many of our young warriors have grown to know this day will come. Cato!" He pulls the young man who was sat next to you to the fold of the conversation. "This is Cato. He has already made his journey several times and succeeded. I have asked him here today to guide you, so you are not alone on this journey." The village elder continues his explanations. "Cato's ancestors were much like my own, brave and strong. They led our people to be fruitful and kind. Close your eyes now and think of your history, what you know of your past, what ancestors you know, what bravery they endured for you to stand here today." You close your eyes now, doing exactly that. Are you of native descent, where they lived off the land to thrive? Are you of European descent, where war and famine your ancestors have battled to stay alive so that you can be here today? Are you of Asian descent, where your rich history dates back through years of tradition and land living? Are you of African descent, where your ancestors faced uncertainty as they were ripped from their families and fought for their freedom? Think now of your ancestors and how they battled, and listen to the beat of the drum. The elder's voice comes again. "Cato will travel with you on your vision quest. Many have spoke of the white buffalo, but few have seen it. No one knows where your journey will take you. Only you will discover this along the way. Go now, and may your ancestors guide you." The village elder holds open the flap that was folded to the front of the teepee, allowing you and Cato to exit together. You turn to Cato now, not knowing where to begin. He smiles down at you, knowing all too well your predicament. He speaks now. "We must head to the riverside first. Here we use the sweat lodge to cleanse ourselves. We sit around the fire and allow steam before we run and jump into the river. From warm to cold, this hardens our spirit for the journey ahead." You nod at him, allowing him to take the lead to the water's edge, listening to your footsteps in silence as you both pace in rhythm. Soon enough, you notice the dome-like tent perched alongside the water's edge, and many others of its kind all lined up along the bank. You spot a few of the other group members, some heading into the lodges, others running and jumping into the cold water. You smile. As much as this was a ceremony to be taken serious, you can't help but love the fun and sense of adventure that comes with it. Both you and Cato slip into the third lodge in line. A crackling fire greets you as you enter.
You take a seat upon the dusty floor as you watch Kato seal the door of the lodge. A small bucket of water sits near the fireside with a carved wooden ladle in it. Kato takes a seat beside you as he turns to you. Ready? He quizzes you. You utter yes, unsure of what's to come, but ready either way. Kato reaches for the bucket of water, taking a scoop with the ladle. He pours it onto the hot rocks of the fire. The rocks hiss and sizzle as the bubbles of water evaporate from the heat. Steam soon fills the lodge as Kato continues to douse the rocky surface every so often. You can feel beads of sweat form upon your brow, coupled with that of evaporated water nestling on your skin surface. Some time passes as you both sit in silence, enjoying the company of one another without a word being uttered in the warmth of the steam. Kato soon breaks the silence, climbing to his feet. It is time to plunge into the cold and harden our soft spirit with the flowing strength of our ancestors. You climb to your feet, ready to run on command. As soon as Kato had opened the door, he tells you to run and jump without thinking. You both bolt out of the lodge now. Diving in with a leap of faith, you plunge into the cold waters of the river, sending shockwaves through your body. You can hear others splashing about and laughing under the low light of the moon. Climbing out of the embankment, you brush off the water, warming yourself once more by the open fire outside of the lodge. Kato turns to you now, explaining the next steps of the journey. We look to Grandfather Sky as his low light makes way for bright lights in the sky. We find the brightest light and follow until we find our first encounter. He explains, giving you a sense of direction. Your gaze soon drifts to the skies above, making note of the star formations you've never really stopped to look at in detail. Spotting one that stands out to you the most. I've found it. I'm ready, you announce. Kato smiles, extended his arm in a gesture to signal that you lead the way. You begin to follow the star, walking in any direction your heart takes you. You notice as others of your group break off into their own journeys, where you soon find yourself in the thick of a cedar wood, when suddenly you hear a howl cry out. You turn to Kato now. I hear the wolf cry, you tell him in excitement. Kato smiles before speaking. Close your eyes for a moment longer and ensure it is the cry of the wolf you hear. Thoughts can be misleading. You do as he tells you, closing your eyes and listening to the howl of the wolf as it cries out under the pale light of the full moon. You pick up on other noises, the gentle night's breeze rustling through the trees, some twigs crackling, the hoot of an owl. The cry of the wolf comes once more and you open your eyes, turning to Kato. Kato nods at you. I heard it too. It is time to track our friend from a safe distance and see if he has something to tell us. Follow me, he explains, heading off ahead of you. You follow him now as the wood's edge approaches, and the pair of you glance down into a canyon below. Kato stops here. Lowering himself to the ground, he runs his fingers around the dirt, looking out over the canyon's vast space. He lowers himself further, placing his ear to the cold rock below. He went this way, he speaks softly as he climbs to his feet once more. You glance over the rocky edge, making note of the rushing water below that floods the veins of the canyon. Come, this way, Kato announces. Bolting off back into the small wooded area, you run to keep up with him, when suddenly you find yourself face to face with a large, almost ghostly apparition of a wolf. The wolf locks eyes with you, walking slowly towards you.
You find yourself frozen to a spot. Soon enough, the wolf is face to face with you. You can feel his warm breath upon your skin as he lowers his head and presses his forehead to yours. All of a sudden, you have an overwhelming sensation that you should follow this wolf, as he is telling you in his own form that it is okay. You soon notice two other wolves prowling back and forth behind the larger wolf. They appear to mean no harm, but seem to be pacing impatiently. You nod to your wolf, accepting that you understand him. He turns now and bounds off. "This way, Cato," you call out as you follow in hot pursuit of your wolf friend. Darting through trees as you run alongside the other wolves, being careful to not trip on any low-laying branches or roots. Suddenly, the wood opens up, and your ghostly wolf and his two other friends vanish into thin air. You're left facing an open plain, feeling confused. Cato catches up to you. "What were you chasing?" he questions. You frown at him. "The wolves. Did you not see them?" Cato smiles at you, shaking his head. "No, I did not. But you did, and you followed your instinct. That is what this is about." He smiles, pleased that your journey is proving more successful than Thirst thought. "What now?" you question him. He steps closer to you, placing his hand on your chest. "From here you discover what now," he explains, stepping back and allowing you to find your own path. You choose to explore this rocky terrain, climbing cautiously over each rock that tumbles under your feet. You decide to attempt to reach one of the peaks to take a better look around. But before you can make it, a creature appears out of nowhere. A full-formed apparition of a stag stands before you. Grunting, snuffled hot air from its flaring nostrils. He lowers his head in a bow to you, and you feel the need to bow in return. In doing so, he grunts at you once more. As he turns to head off once again, you feel the urge to follow. Once more you call out to Cato, and the pair of you are off in hot pursuit of the stag. He leads you over the rocky terrain, and down an embankment, back into the shrouded cover of yet another cedar wood. The stag stops, looking back at you, waiting for you to catch up to him as you make your way through the brush, catching branches upon your clothing in a rustling movement. You notice a few female deer pop up and weave in and out of the trees before you, before they vanish out of sight and into the shadows of the wood. The beat of your feet upon the floor, bringing your mind back to that of the beating drum that you first heard at the beginning of your journey. The stag soon moves out, leading you out of the wood and into a rolling meadow of wide open plains. Long blades of lavender sway gently in the night air as a thick cloud rolls out over the moon, casting pale light to your stag's form once more. He stops here, grunting at you once again, before he darts off, leaving a glittering trail before his structure fades before your eyes. You stand here for a while, catching your breath as you breathe in the sweet scent of the warm air. Cato soon catches up to you. Standing alongside you, breathless himself, he questions, "What came to you this time?" You turn, smiling at him as your breathing settles. "The stag," was all you could offer. Cato bends over, holding his hands to his knees as he breathes in deeply. "Good. That's an elder of our beliefs," he explains, still breathless from running after you. "What does that mean?" You question him, watching him recover from his run. He smiles, preparing to answer,
But suddenly, a cry out from overhead catches both your attention. The pair of you look to the skies to see what swoops overhead. Kato points up to the creature. "Now this one I can see," he remarks. You smile, feeling the bird's cry echo through your body. You both set off in pursuit of the animal, making your way down the rolling hill bank. The eagle continues to call out every so often, her cry echoing around the valley. Soon enough, the temperature drops, and snow begins to form at your feet, making your movement slightly impaired. Snow-peaked mountains come into view as you follow the bird further into this new terrain. "What is this?" you question out loud. Kato responds in a mutter. "The eagle, she is passing you through cold lands. It must be important for her to bring you here." Feeling confused, you maintain your pace after the eagle, Kato's words ringing in your mind, the icy bite of the wind kissing your cheeks as you embrace the environment's extreme climate. Before long, a thick snow-covered forest comes into view. Your bird flies right over, and you and Kato both head into the wood. You soon lose sight and sound of your bird. The pair of you spin in circles attempting to spot her from below the white peak canopies above. "She is gone," Kato tells you. You draw your attention from the skies back down to your surroundings. Nothing but white flooring and brown bark. Suddenly, you hear a snuffling, grunting sound. A thick, shaggy white-coated buffalo meets your eye line. "I don't believe it," Kato mutters in astonishment. "You see this one too?" You quiz him. He nods at you. "This is the sacred white buffalo. Only few have seen it. Mostly our elders and ancestors. For you to meet the white buffalo is a sacred symbol. Go to him. Place your head to his. He holds wisdom of years past," Kato explains. Feeling honored at such a rare occurrence, you slowly make your way towards the buffalo, cautious not to startle him. His deep brown eyes watch you as you approach, snorting hot air as you watch the steam leave his nostrils. Reaching him, you pat his side, feeling his thick fur through your fingertips. You do as Kato said, placing your forehead to the buffalo's. The creature nuzzles into you. Before long, you have a sense to follow him. You thank the buffalo, turning back to Kato. "I need to follow him." Kato nods, stepping closer. "Ready when he is," he responds. The buffalo grunts and begins a slow pace in the direction you need to go. Slowly but surely, the cold, snow-covered terrain begins to fade to that red, rocky surface you recognize. Before long, you spot the morning sun rising over the horizon. "Kato, the sun is coming up," you mention as you both walk, still following the buffalo. "Yes, some journeys can take days, others hours," Kato responds, explaining that time doesn't matter when a journey of life is occurring. The buffalo soon stops. He turns, pushing his head into your stomach and grunting. "He is telling you this is where he will leave you, and you must follow your gut instinct from here," Kato explains, watching the creature's behavior. You nod, thanking the buffalo once more with a soft stroke over his head. The animal soon wanders off back the way he came. You and Kato climb the rocky mound before you, looking over the plateau as the sun rises, warming your skin. "This is also where I leave you," Kato speaks up. Fear runs through you as you turn to him. "Why?" you question. His voice comes again.
It is clear that the buffalo has led you to the sacred mountain. Just ahead is where you need to be. The sacred mountain only comes to those who truly need it. This is not my journey. I have helped you as far as I can, he explains. How will I get back? I don't know the way, you question again. Kato places his hand on your shoulder. The medicine man, or woman, you never know which one you get up there, but he or she will help you home. With that, Kato walks back, following the tracks of the buffalo. You now stand alone, the morning breeze blowing your hair as you begin your journey forward, and alone. Before long, you realize you have climbed the sacred mountain. A vast village lays in its throat as you pan the horizon around it. You slowly make your way down the carved rock steps and into the life that the mountain holds. You pass ancient ruins of ancestors' lives before you. You can hear the bustle of life up ahead, where a new village has been built in the middle of an old. You smile to yourself at the marvel of life, where past and present meets in the middle. Suddenly, a rattle sound catches your attention. Come, child. A voice echoes out from a rock formation off to the side of you. Feeling no fear, you follow the sound to see a woman sat upon a rock, surrounded by all manner of objects. Rattles, drums, shells, stones. Come, sit by me. Take in the sun as she rises to glory. The female voice comes once more. You slide beside this elderly woman, dressed in a full traditional clothing. You look out at the view, watching the sun continue to rise on a new day, as yet you feel the warmth to your skin. The woman speaks again. Welcome to the sacred mountain. You have done well in your journey and learnt many things about yourself and our world. I am the tribe's Twahiti, or medicine woman. I know you have problems in life, be they health or emotional. We need not speak of them. Just allow me to work my skills upon you. She explains to you. You remain silent, but nod in understanding. She climbs to her feet. Taking her rattle in hand, she shakes it all around your body. This will ward off the bad and call in your ancestors, she explains, as she brushes the sound over your being. Soon she picks up the abalone shell. Placing it to your chest, she pulls the shell back slowly, as if drawing something out of you. This will pull the negative from your heart to allow you to fill it with love, she explains. She then takes a wooden stick clustered in all manner of stones and crystals, running it around your forearm. This will calm your soul and soothe your life force, she explains. She soon stops, turning to her clutter of things. She begins putting things together into a small pouch before turning to you. She hands you the pouch. Keep this safe. This holds the healing you need. Keep it under your pillow when you sleep and carry on your person when out and about, she explains, placing it into your hands and closing your fingers around it with her own. Thank you, you speak softly to her, holding on to the bag tightly, its hide texture soft to your touch. As you play with it a little in your fingers, you hear the herbs crunching inside the pouch. The elderly woman smiles at you, stroking your hair with love and care. Now it is time to cleanse you and send you on your way home, she explains, reaching for her wrapped white sage and cedar bud smudging bundle. She cracks 2 flint rocks together, gathering a spark to the end of her smudging stick that rests within the abalone shell. Soon enough,
the bundle begins to smoke. Taking it into her hands, she washes the smoke over you, chanting in her tongue song as she does so. The sweet scent envelops you as you close your eyes, soothed by her sound. Before long, you open your eyes. To your view cast in nothing but smoke. You can no longer see the woman or the view out over the horizon, just bellows of smoke with a soft crackle sound. Before long, the smoke clears, and all that is left is the soft crackle sound, as a view of the fire you began your journey at lays before you. You smile, watching the flames dance, thinking it all a dream. You soon realize you're clutching the medicine bag in your hands. Puzzled, you close your eyes, exhausted from your adventure. You listen carefully to the crackles of the fire as you bring yourself back into your chair, your bed, the room you began in, back to the sights and sounds of your normal life. Good night. Rest well. Have a blessed day. Until next time.